Today's 26 March 2020. The sun's coming up on our garden. Yesterday, the governor of Idaho, because of coronavirus concerns, shut down all non-essential businesses, so our antique mall, where our piano store is not operating. And I'll have 21 days now to get my garden prepped for spring. We'll start by putting tomato cages away, cleaning all the vines out of the tomato cages, and pruning these fall-bearing raspberries to the ground. We want to do that anyway before the little shoots start to send their heads up through the dirt and get in the way of pruning, because if we don't, then pruning knocks a lot of those off. Last week I had a few minutes and we went and got a yard of compost. We thatched the yard with a power rake, put a lot of grass clippings out here, and let's see, I got the tiller out to see if it would work, and we tilled down the row and back again right here in the strawberry patch. But there's so much to do. A couple of days ago we pruned a pear tree but there's 7 trees to prune and a couple to plant, so we'll get started. This row we're pruning is Polana. These are ever-bearing raspberries, meaning they produce clear till it freezes. And I've pruned about 40 feet here, 30 feet, and I've got another 30 feet to go. All the tomato cages are up on the roof. We'll do these, then we're going to do Autumn Britain, and this row here is Autumn Britain, and there's about 45 or 50 feet there. The Willamette raspberries we haven't done much with. They just kind of go wild because I haven't taken time to manage them. Then we have a couple of varieties on this other end, and they're a 20-foot row. One is Himbo Top, very prolific, and Joan Jay. Joan Jay is our only thornless variety. We have 3 20-foot rows. Patrick came over and dug some yesterday to put in his yard. There's plenty to share. And then we have a section of Jewel black raspberries, and these are very thorny, very, very, very stickery. We'll be working on pruning all of these. The black raspberries, of course, produce on last year's canes still, but all of the ever-bearing that I have, I can prune all the way to the ground, or I can leave last year's canes and they will still produce for a month this year. But this year we're going to take them all to the ground and start clean. They'll come up with brand new shoots, and they will produce this fall, starting toward the end of August. We have 2 varieties of June-bearing or spring-bearing raspberries. These are both thornless. One is Canby, and the other is Titan, and they're both pretty prolific and very, very high-producing plants. These produce about the 4th of July, whereas the ever-bearing, of course, don't start until later in August, which is not too bad. A month later, a month following the June-bearing. But these June-bearing type only produce for 3 to 5 weeks, 4 weeks probably, so through July, and then they stop, whereas the ever-bearing produce till it freezes. The ever-bearing are, I feel like a little bit larger berry, more dull flavor, whereas the spring-bearing types here are more of a tart flavor. Very, very good raspberries.